Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Soul. And today I'm going to be doing another That Game I Played. And this is a series, if you are not familiar with it, where I look at games in my past, relics from back when I was just playing random ass video games. And I don't want to replay these games for sake of making a video. So I thought, since I am weird and won't close these games off from my memory until I make a video about them, I'm here to do that today. And the game I'm putting to bed today is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, whatever you want to call it. I know that I don't know why they have that weird name thing for the first Harry Potter. But anyway, this game is on a bunch of fucking systems. It's on GameCube, I think. I think it might be on PlayStation. I played it on PlayStation 1. I think it might be on Game Boy. I think it's out for some systems. But as far as I know, I know it's on Game Boy. I know it's on PlayStation 1. I think I've seen it for other things though. But it's a pretty shitty game, in all honesty. The Harry Potter games are not known for being beacons of quality. If anything, it's rare when these games are good at all. For instance, even the later games, which have good technology, with the 360, and I think the last game is a Kinect game. Oh god. But with this game, it's a PlayStation 1 game, licensed game, very strong signs of it being bad. But I played this game as a kid, and that's why I ended up replaying it later on in life. And it was weird because I actually never finished this game as a kid. I think part of my reasoning for playing it was man, I never finished that fucking game. And I remember me and my brother always I think he got to the chess match, where it's a 3D chess game. If you haven't watched Harry Potter, don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil anything. But there is a chess match, and that's where he got stuck. And I don't know where I got stuck, but it doesn't really matter. And replaying this game as a functional human being and not a small child, I breezed right through it. I do remember a big reason why I never beat it was because the game the disc got really effed up. I remember there was this fight with Malfoy where you just fight him and it's a normal throwing spells at each other fight, and my game was not having it. And so I was okay, let me just restart the whole game, because that's what I did back then. And I just remember seeing the opening of this game, which is just someone narrating over a book of still images to get through the boring, not the boring parts, but the non-playable sections of Harry Potter, which are the Dursleys and all that. So they just narrate through that bullshit, and I just the way my game disc was effed up. I kept having to hear that over and over again. I was just god damn it, even as a kid, and then I just gave up. So, but I beat it later on in life, weirdly. Now, once I finally had a PlayStation 1, I haven't finished that many PlayStation 1 games. This is actually, I'm a little bit ashamed to say this, one of the few PlayStation 1 games I've ever beaten. Oh, that's a little bit sad. I really need to clean up my PlayStation 1 catalog, but, it's so hard. We're on PlayStation 4 now. It's so hard to play old games now. I normally, the games I play are either this gen or last gen, and it was the same thing when the PS3 and Xbox 360 were out. But to go back and play a couple generations ago is really hard for me. But so this game, I haven't even really talked about this game. It's a very I've seen a couple screenshots for this. I've seen some people parody it with some Let's Plays and shit. It's an ugly game. Just look at Dumbledore in this game. He looks so fucking ugly. I don't think they were able to get any of the voice actor or any of the actors to voice act. So not much there. I'm not sure if they were adapting the book or the movie. I kind of think they were adapting closer to the book based on like a couple choices they made. Like, for instance, there's like a still image of like Harry's eyes, and they're green and not blue, which is how they are in the movie. But they're green in the book. But you know, this is a very simple game where you're gonna be, it's like practically a platformer, and I don't know why games back then, like even games like Kingdom Hearts are guilty of this, where it's like, it's not a platformer game, but they're gonna put in a bunch of platforming sections. Like, and it's just gonna be a slug of a game to get through. For instance, this game, you're gonna be jumping on a bunch of platformers, despite the fact that Harry can't jump worth shit. He's a small little boy, I don't expect him to jump well. But anyway, you're gonna learn spells the way you have to learn a mini. You go through this mini game, like this button mini game, where you're just following the buttons. It's practically a quick time event to learn a spell, and then every time you use the spell, you gotta do another like a button game. Like it's a button mini game, and each spell is different. And it's very like I don't want to. Like, the way the spells are used is supposed to be, like, quick, boom, boom, boom. Like, I don't want to do all of that. And I just read my review of this, like, back when because of course, I played this game for the sake of doing a review, but that was back when I was doing written reviews for my website. And I just read my review. I gave it a 2 out of 5, which sounds about right. Most of it is just me going into my like personal like which Harry Potter games I've played. Here's a line. This was the first taste of Hogwarts that players got, and exploring it back was actually really cool, especially since back then we didn't know how Hogwarts was like and which rooms went where. So what I'm saying there, it's kind of like when you got to play South Park, the game for the first time. It's like you don't know how South Park is laid out until you play the game. And it really doesn't make, and I even say this, they don't, it doesn't really matter because the later versions of the games and the movies, like they fuck up Hogwarts so much. There is no definitive way Hogwarts looks, because if you watch the movies, like the layout of the castle is different every single movie, and every single video game the layout of this castle will look different every single time. And then like Universal Studios will act like, no, it's not, Hogwarts looks like this. There's no proper way that Hogwarts looks. Someone really just needed to like make a map of the fucking thing. And you know, the books aren't gonna help because they're just, we're going here and now we're going here. But anyway, another thing, casting, blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah. I'm trying to find something that's actually worthwhile in this review, but I mostly said that this, you know, not a bad game, but you know, a very kind of mediocre game is what I'm getting here. It does kind of, it sticks to the spirit of the books. You know, you're listening to some Harry Potter music and listening to Harry go like, Expecto Patronum, and, not Expecto Patronum, Wingardium Leviosa, and all these things. It brings a smile to your face once or twice, but these kinds of games are not something that are like, if it's actually worth your time. Like, video games are hours and hours long, so it's kind of like, if you're gonna waste all that time, you might as well play a good game. So, with games like this that are like mediocre, it's not really worth playing. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the first game. I was actually pretty like happy with myself just getting through this game, because it was like, this is like a relic of a relic. So there was the first time I played this game as a child, and then I dusted it off, and now I'm dusting it off again, and this is the final time I ever have to talk about it. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the video game on PS1, I'm giving a 5 out of 10. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow with another episode of Good Morning Soul, and until then, with that, I leave you.